What's going on, guys? Brother Russia here, back with another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And today we're taking on the EZA for STR Super Vegeta that just dropped over here on the Global and JP side. So let's take a look at this real quick. So he is actually weak to Android/Cell Saga. And the types that are good against him are AGL, both Super and Extreme. You can use Extreme Tech, Extreme Int, and Extreme STR, which are also very good against him. So let me show you guys the team that I've been using. So this is kind of what I've been using right here. I've got the AGL Cell here. I mean, I've got him. He's only really given 30% like extra 200% to these androids right here and to this cell right here. Otherwise, I've got this LR Trunks and Gohan. I've got this LR Super Saiyan Gohan, and then this Super Saiyan Trunks free to play LR. And I've just been using like the Int LR Perfect Cell as a friend. And we've kind of just been like running through this with like no issues at all. Honestly, I've been running this on auto and I've had zero issues whatsoever getting this done. Like Vegeta doesn't really damage this cell at all. And then on top of that, we do really good damage as well. So we're easily able to kind of take care of Vegeta here. Now, Vegeta is getting an EZA, which is good. I mean, they are kind of following within the celebration of kind of like the theme of the celebration, which is very good. At least it's not like a random EZA or anything like that. And the one thing I wanted, like I had initially said, was I either wanted this STR Vegeta to get an EZA, or I wanted the AGL like base form Trunks that goes Super Saiyan. I would have preferred one or the other, and I'm glad that STR Super Vegeta ended up getting his. Now, we can go ahead and kind of talk about the details of the Vegeta here. So they made him a Mastered Evolution or Pure Saiyan category, Key 3, HP attack and defense 170% across the board. On his Super, he raises defense for 1 turn, which is a 30% defense raise, causes immense damage to the enemy, and then all attacks become crits for 1 turn. So he does crit on his Super. Now, passive wise, he gets Ki +2, attack and defense plus 200%. He guards all attacks for 5 turns from the character's entry turn. So you've got guard for 5 turns essentially. He's good for like quick events essentially. Not really like, not necessarily for like longer events or anything like that, but for the shorter events, he's definitely going to be very good in. He gets an additional attack and defense 100% when he performs a super attack. He gets an additional attack and defense plus 50% with each super attack performed up to 100%. So with 2 super attacks, he gets the additional 100% there. And then plus an additional attack and defense plus 50% within the same turn after receiving an attack. Then he launches an additional super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack, plus an additional attack and defense plus 50%, and guards all attacks when there's an enemy whose name includes Cell. Characters such as Cell Jr. excluded. Cell Max is actually also excluded in that. For whatever reason, they just have not added that in yet, but it's literally like just Cell units that aren't Cell Jr. or Cell Max. And then he stuns enemies. He stuns the enemy with his super, if they can be stunned. So EZA wise, I don't see it as like, I don't really see it as like a bad EZA. I just feel like he's gonna age out super quick because they didn't really give him, I feel like they didn't give him a lot. He's definitely gonna be very powerful to like begin with, though I feel like he's definitely gonna fall off kind of towards like the end of fights and stuff like that, especially if it's going to be longer events and after his guard wears off. He does also have an active skill. His active skill gives him Ki +5 and then 50% attack for 1 turn. And to activate it, it can only be activated when HP is 50% or more starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle, or after the character receives an attack 1 or more times when there's an enemy whose name includes Cell. So the condition isn't really like terrible, especially if you're like fighting a Cell unit. He's very good here. Otherwise, I mean, you are going to be waiting 5 turns, which honestly could be a little bit of a pain having to wait for that. But I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of like his guard wears off and then you can use the active skill for the extra 50% attack, I guess is like the best way to put it. And then Link wise, he's got a Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Prodigy, Saiyan Pride, Golden Warrior, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle. And then he's on Mastered Evolution, Pure Saiyan, Full Power, Vegeta's Family, Super Saiyan, Worthy Rivals, Android/Cell Saga, Rapid Growth, Gifted Warriors, Heavenly Events, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan. So he is going to be a very, very good partner for the Extreme Tech Vegeta Dokkan Fest that just dropped, because he does fit on his category. He does get the nice 200% boost from there, and he'll link up pretty well with this Super Vegeta as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs. I mean, obviously he just dropped, so I don't think we've seen like what the performance of him is yet, especially with like World Tournament that's been going on and stuff like that. I don't think anybody has had any kind of time to really showcase what the unit looks like. So we'll definitely test him out. We'll see how good he's gonna be and everything post EZA. Now, with the EZA of this Vegeta, there are a couple other sub EZAs as well. So we have the Int Android 16. He's the one that dropped with the AGL LR Gohan as like the side banner unit. So let's see, he becomes a Android/Cell Saga category Ki 3 130%. His super attack, he greatly raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and massively lowers defense. Passive, he gets Ki +2, attack and defense 160%, guards all attacks, which is very good. He gets an additional attack and defense plus 80% when attacking. Gets a high chance of performing a crit within the same turn after receiving an attack. And then reduces damage received by 16% whenever guard is activated. And the thing is he's always got guard active. So with him always having guard active and then getting 16% damage reduction whenever guard is activated, up to 48%. So he only needs to get hit, what, 3 times? Yeah, so he needs to get hit 3 times and he's got guard plus 48% damage reduction. Then he gets an additional attack plus 80%, defense 160%, and all allies Ki +3 and attack and defense plus 58% when your team has Super Saiyan Gohan Youth or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth attacking in the same turn. So it's the one thing that's like unfortunate is him and the Gohan actually like don't link up at all. So like having him on rotation, honestly, like if you have this Android 16 on rotation and you have like the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan out, I mean, he's definitely gonna be with the extra 58% attack, he's definitely gonna be hitting very hard. I think that'll be kind of fun to test out and see how well that's gonna see how well he'll perform with that Gohan. The other unit that got a sub EZA is the AGL Cell Jr. They are an artificial lifeform category, key 3, 130%. On their super, they raise attack and defense for 1 turn, which is a 30% raise. It causes supreme damage to the enemy and lower attack and defense. They get attack and defense plus 150%. They get an additional attack and defense plus 30% and a chance of dodging plus 10% per artificial lifeform category ally on the team. So you can get up to what, 70%, because you have 6 of yours plus the friend. He is a or they are an artificial lifeform category ally, key 3, 30% attack and defense support unit. Launch an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super, and then launch an additional super attack and randomly change key spheres of a certain type, AGL and int excluded, to rainbow when your team has Cell perfect form or perfect Cell attacking in the same turn. So I don't think that they're actually going to be a terrible unit, especially if you just run them on like a full artificial lifeform team. They're going to be supporting the entire rotation, plus they're going to be getting the extra 30% attack and defense per artificial lifeform unit on the team. So I think they're going to be, maybe they'll be pretty good in like the 9th anniversary battle, where you have to beat where like one of the missions is you have to beat Beast Gohan with an artificial lifeform team. So maybe they'll actually be somewhat useful there. We'll have to test it out and see if they actually are going to be useful or if they're just going to end up getting you killed. But we'll definitely check them out and see how well they'll perform there. And then last but not least, AGL Super Vegeta, he's getting his sub EZA as well. Now his leader skill is AGL STR and physical type, key 3, 90%. He causes supreme damage to the enemy, seals super attacks, and raises attack for 9 turns. So that's a 50% raise. He gets passive wise 150% attack and defense. He gets an additional 100% attack and defense when performing a super, and if HP is 50% or less when performing a super attack, he performs a crit. Launch an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super. Reduces damage received by 30%. And then he gets an additional damage reduction of 20% when HP is 70% or less at the start of turn. Plus an additional damage reduction of 20% when HP is 50% or less at the start of turn. Plus an additional damage reduction of 20% when HP is 30% or less at the start of turn. So he's getting what, 20, 40, 60, 90? So it's like 90% damage reduction if you're under 30% health. So that's wild. I mean, he's going to be just a tank. He's going to be like AGL LR Golden Frieza, essentially. And then all allies key +1 and attack and defense 25%, plus an additional key +2 and attack and defense plus 25% for AGL, STR, and physical type allies. And then he weakens regeneration. So the Super Vegeta doesn't sound too bad. I definitely want to test him out and see how he's going to perform. Now, the unfortunate thing is you got to run like all these different events to get their EZA medals. They didn't make it like super easy for us this time around, unfortunately, with like any kind of missions. So we do have to do the grind again and, you know, awaken the unit that way, but that shouldn't be an issue. So, you know, we'll get to it. We'll do that off screen and whatnot. So let's go ahead and collect the missions. There's 3 missions here as always. So an easy 4 stones there. And there you guys go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, consider hitting that like button. And if you guys are new here, consider subscribing as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys.